All right, let's take one more call. Let's go to Nathaniel in Columbia, South Carolina. What's up, Nathaniel?
Hey, how's the next big talk show personality doing?
Right? I keep telling everybody that. We only have like 42 people who listen to this podcast, but we're going to get there, brother. We're going to get there.
You a star in the making. Keep it up.
How are you, man?
I can't complain. A lot going on, but I think that describes most of us, so, I'm not going to complain.
Very cool. So what's up, brother? How can I help?
Well, I noticed that there's a lot of, I would call, impulsive behaviors, not major things, but that I have a habit of doing, and it's affecting my life in small ways, and I just want to get some advice on how to control them better.
Very cool. So talk to me about the impulsive behaviors.
Well, I can think of a few things in particular. One, little bit of overeating. I wouldn't consider myself like an overweight person, so it's a little bit hard to talk with people about it. But for instance, if I'm at my work, I'll visit the snack machine on good days, maybe a couple times, 3 times. Hello?
Yeah, I love snack machines, man. I'm with you.
Yeah. On bad days where I'm stress eating, it's 5-ish, which is not, or 6, I don't know. So that's one thing. And then now that I'm working from home a little bit more, look, it's 10:30. I guess it's time for lunch number 3 already.
That's right.
But, that's one thing. And another area I notice is internet time.
Okay.
Especially during work. So a lot of my work right now is on my laptop. And I get distracted really easy watching YouTube. It's kind of frustrating, and so, yeah.
So besides eating and some internet distractions, what else? Something else is behind you. Something's worrying you. What is that?
Other things is, I think it's more omissions, like, okay, I should be exercising, but let's watch one more episode of the John Delony show before I go, and then 5 hours later.
Always okay. Always okay.
Yeah. So
sacrifice your physical
health. What I'm trying to. No, I'm kidding. Or just stuff like, I guess it's time to clean that Jenga tower of dirty dishes in my sink right now. But I'll get to it later. And it's just irritating stuff like that. And I guess what's compounding it a little bit is, one, in about 3 weeks I'm getting married.
Oh, so, okay.
I've told my fiance about this, is that, like, I think I'm a little disappointed in myself that I imagined I would be a different person by this point. Or, like, I've been trying to change the behaviors. Like, okay, make a schedule. Start putting site blockers on your computer. Stop carrying money to work so you can't, actually buy anything. And that works for a week or so, and then a distraction or stress happens. I resort to those as control mechanisms. Back to square one.
Gotcha. Okay. So what would you say, brother, is at the root of you call them impulsive behaviors. They're really numbing behaviors. They are ways to unplug real quick or for a long time. And usually those behaviors are rooted in some sort of underlying stress, underlying feelings of, what's underlying for you, man?
One thing I guess that comes to mind a lot is my research. I'm a grad student, getting my PhD.
Good for you, man.
And I tell people this quite frankly. I think my research is a burning dumpster fire within a train wreck, within a meteor crater.
Yes. What are you studying?
I'm studying organic chemistry.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Okay. You actually could literally be studying inside of a dumpster fire, though, which is pretty cool for OChem. Why do you say your research is no good?
Well, I feel like, just talking to my advisor, my last 3 projects I worked on it really hard, and it turned essentially my advisor said, scrap this project, go somewhere else. And that's been the case for the last few years. Like, I'm still in the program, so hooray. And I'm more than past the halfway point, thankfully. But a lot of times I don't know if my advisor is just being a perfectionist, or if I'm actually doing okay, and he's just trying to push me harder, or it's, you should be really worried right now and you need to, shift gears. And I guess also with the whole, the big news that's happening around the world, coronavirus, I got placed back on TA duty. It's a whole lot more work online. Everything is slower. And I just spend most of my time grading papers as opposed to actual research.
Yep.
So that doesn't help the situation.
How old are you, man?
So that's 25.
Okay. Can you, let's just back up for a second. Okay. Can you go global with me for a second?
Okay.
You're getting married in a few weeks. The world is literally and figuratively on fire. We're in the middle of a pretty remarkable pandemic, an absolute economic implosion. You are in the middle of one of the most difficult PhD programs on the planet. Real hard. A lot of people do a lot of gymnastics academically to get out of OChem, and you're getting a PhD in it. It's hard what you're doing. Most people who aren't in the PhD process don't know how many times you feel real good about something and your advisor says, that's not good enough, do that again. That happened to me a bunch. Or rewrite this, or where did you even get this information from? You need to redo that again. And my advisors, both of them, were really wonderful people. And I still had to redo some stuff. You are in the middle of three of the most stressful things I can imagine. Were you going to school to be a professor too?
Yes.
Okay, so you're also in the middle of you're working towards a career that is evolving and changing underneath us all as we speak here, right? So you are living literally in a true dumpster fire. Everything around you is on fire. And one of the things our brains do is they love us and try to take care of us. And so what you've got is a series of behaviors, whether we can call them little tics, you can call them little whatevers, which are little mini checkout moments. I'm just going to click off. I can't read one more stupid OChem paper. I'm just going to spend the next 4 hours here. I'm going to procrastinate on this. I'm going to just have one more meal because I need one more dopamine hit that's going to make that stress a little bit less. It's going to cover up my amygdala a little bit more, right? It's going to unhook it a little bit more. And I want you to, number one, first and foremost, give yourself some grace, okay? You are in the middle of it. It's a lot going on. I also want you to I'm not big on shoulds and have tos. I think some shoulds, and I wish I did. Those can weigh people down. But you've got to stop talking to Nathan so badly. Okay? You are beating up Nathan. You are talking to yourself in a way that you would never let somebody talk to your fiance. Right?
Right.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Okay. So distraction behaviors are they're just a balm. They're like chapstick. They're a lie. Okay? Think of them like a lie. The key here, if you want to change a behavior, number one is awareness. When you're about to eat something, when you're about to go to the snack machine, as you start to roll your chair back, because it happens automatically, right? I want you to, or at your house, when you decide, oh man, it's time for for 7th lunch. I want you to pause and say, what am I trying to protect myself from? And just let it sit there for a second. As you're about to eat another sleeve of cookies, I want you to think, why am I still eating this? What is my brain trying to protect me from? And it's probably from one more assignment, one more place where you're going to not feel enough, one more step towards a job that you don't even know if is going to be there, one more step towards a forever decision, which is getting married, right? It's doing its job. It's trying to protect you. And what you have to do is fill your resiliency bucket, if you will, with positive behaviors instead of default settings. And so just getting rid of impulsive behaviors, just stopping eating, or just saying, I want to be super good looking for my wedding. I want to be super good for my professor. Those are always going to be trying to fill an internal hole with external plugs. You're going to be doing something for somebody else, for somebody else, for somebody else. And I want you to begin talking to Nathan in a positive way. I want you to begin to say, I'm going to eat well because I'm going to feel better. My research is going to be better. I'm going to be able to be a better husband for my wife. My head's going to be better. Not just so I'm not fat. You know what I mean? Going towards something instead of away from something is totally different. And just recognizing your impulses are liars. And I'm going to give you a sentence that changed my life. Okay? I struggle with impulse behaviors a lot. I've got a lot of tics. I've struggled with ADHD my whole life and with anxiety my whole life. And I read a sentence that was from an ADHD scholar that was really extraordinary for me. And here was the sentence. Don't forget to remember. And I know that sounds out of order in a wacky sentence. Don't forget to remember. Here's what that sentence means. It means when I pull up to my house, for some reason, I can't see, I still have CDs in my car. I can't see the CDs that are scattered all over my car. I can't see the water bottles and the LaCroix cans in the car. I just don't see it. But I remember what it feels like getting into a really messy truck. I remember what it feels like to get into a really clean truck. I forget, I'll walk through the house and I will just leave crap everywhere. I will wake up and think, I don't want to go work out downstairs. And then I will make sure I don't forget to remember how good it feels after I've worked out. How good it feels to actually put stuff away where it goes. And what it does is it takes me to the other end, not on the front end, because people who struggle with impulse behavior, who struggle with numbing behaviors, who struggle with addiction, who struggle with ADHD on the front end, they struggle with that front end impulse. What we can control is the back end. Okay? What we can control is where we're headed. I don't want to pick that stuff up now, but I don't want to forget to remember how good it feels when the house is clean. How good it feels when my wife can just relax and smile because she's worked her butt off with our kids all day. And so don't forget to remember is a sentence that changed my life. I hope it will change yours. I want to tell you, man, you are in the middle of it. This storm will pass. Winter will pass and spring will come. Your wedding's going to be awesome. She said she loved you before you started working out. So she still loves you. I don't want you to work out for her. I want you to work out for you. I don't want you to try to get the next right PhD program for your professor to try to prove that you belong. You do. You got in the program. I want you to work really hard on your research because we need some great OChem people out there. We got a lot of problems that OChem folks can help us solve. I want you to do it because you can do it. I want you to not spend time on the internet, brother, because I want you to get your grading done so you can go outside and go for a walk. So you can go outside and call your fiance and y'all can go talk about what's going to happen 4 or 5 years from now because you're worth it, Brother Nathaniel.